Hello, this is Pastor Mike Abron. Uh, Today's topic is crossing denominational boundaries. All right, so one of the first things that we have to realize is that disunity and disconnection and discommunications are things that have nothing to do with God. A lot of times, uh, people live in their own world, even within a local church, one local church, where people are just isolated and broken apart from each other uh, because of somebody else's difference of opinion or difference of structure or idea or concept about the same topic. And so instead of learning to actually look for a balanced way of how to see where the person is coming from and make sure that it's obviously doctrinally sound. We just say, no, you're different, you think different, you act different, I ain't comfortable with you, I don't want to be bothered with you. So you go ahead and do your thing, I go ahead and do my thing. Well, that's the same thing with denominations. In a lot of cases, not all of them obviously are bad things, but when it becomes a thing of us as the body being separated from each other, and we can't even deal with each other nor even learn how to collaborate and work together, then that becomes a problem. So crossing those boundaries is like actually crossing different cultures, because one culture over here actually sees things this way and one culture over there sees things that way about the same topic. And so the first thing that we have to do to really be effective at crossing these boundaries and to be unified as the body of Christ, to be effective in this world, even with our differences, difference of gifts and passions and desires and even structures, is that we have to look to the love of God. St. John chapter 13 verse 35, where Jesus is talking to the disciples and he says, by this all men will know that you are my disciples, by how you love one another. Now love is the type of love he's talking about, is love that covers a multitude of sins, the love that looks past all the differences or different perspectives or different understandings or even the disagreements. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. He didn't obviously wait for people to respond to him first before he gave his son as a sacrifice for the redemption of all creation, all men. So he obviously was not doing this with a concept of, I'll do this for you only because you're doing this for me. That wasn't Jesus's concept. That wasn't the Father's concept. Obviously, that's not God's concept at all. But God's concept is that, irregardless of where you are and your opinion and your belief and your structure and system, I'm going to love you anyway, and I want to see the best for you. I want to see the best accomplished for you, and I want to see you become the best that I have for you. And so to actually get past our differences, we have to look at the love of God, how to really care and love and even nurture, in some cases, each other in the body, crossing these boundaries. As well as we have to look at the fact of why we're here. We're not here for our own good or our own benefit. We're here for the benefit of the world. If it was just for us, Jesus can save us and we could just die and go to heaven if that was the case. But he said, you will be my witnesses. So obviously we have a purpose here. And God only does things through his people, his body. And the body is only effective if it's connected. The most effective if it's connected. Yeah, a pinky could be wiggling in the corner doing something, or an elbow over here, or an eye over there, or an ear over there. But they could do so much more when they're actually connected to the whole body and not just separate and segregated from each other. So again, we want to learn how to love each other, and only God can really help us with this. But it is doable because I've seen it in many cases happen. And then we have to put our focus around the Great Commission. That's where our mind has to be, because we're here to reach the world and to make disciples and to develop people in their gifts and callings, and the whole process starts all over again, where they go and reach the world and they make disciples, and again and again and again, where Jesus reproduced himself into 12 men And obviously 11 of them continued, Judas being the betrayer, but all worked out according to God's plan for Jesus to be that ultimate sacrifice for us. And but that duplication process didn't stop with just them. It continued. And this is the ministry in even our modern day. The ministry of Jesus continued. And only how he can really be shown is that we're allowed to function as the body of Christ. So we must love one another, and we have to unify around the Great Commission, which is the most important mission of why we're here as the body, instead of just looking at our own little worlds and trying to do for ourselves.